Another thing that crossed my timeline, Allen Iverson did an interview with Rachel Nichols, I think it was, and he wasn't even really asked about the Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron GOAT debate. He wasn't even asked about it. They was actually trying to get his response on something that Kobe said during the interview, and Rachel Nichols was reading it, and then he responded to it and went into why he think MJ and Kobe are the best players he've ever seen. So here, take a listen.
Studied shark attack videos to think about angles that he could approach you at because you move so fast, and he thought that might help you. I mean, when you hear that, he broke a TV in his hotel room because he saw you had a good game and he didn't.
I don't know, I just look at that as, yeah, that's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, but he said you were the one. He didn't say I was obsessed with everyone in the league. He didn't say I watched everyone else's game back till high school. He said it was you.
With Kobe, he was so different to where it was like, Phil, I want the assignment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Take Fisher off him. I want the assignment. Mm-hmm. I've never seen nobody as competitive like him, but Mike. That's it. Like when people talk about, you know, your favorite players and or the best players in the world, you know, I say Mike and I say Kobe. You know what I mean? And then everybody else.
LeBron's after that for you?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely after that.
When people start talking about the best players, I say Mike and then Kobe. Those two. And that's a lot of people's list. Mike and Kobe. Like, it doesn't make sense for people to say Mike is like Chris Broussard and Rod Parker. It don't even make sense when you say Michael is the best player we ever seen, right? They didn't say Michael had the best resume. You know, he does have a really great resume for sure. It's probably the best, right? But Chris Broussard and Rod Parker, they say things like Michael Jordan is the best player I ever seen. And everyone in the basketball community will admit that the closest thing that we've ever seen to Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant. If Michael Jordan is the best you ever seen, that means you studied his game, you studied his footwork, you studied how he made certain moves, you studied how he used English on the glass, you studied everything about Mike and came away with, oh, that's the best player I ever seen. Not the best numbers, not the best all-time stats, not the best resume. You're saying that he's the best you ever seen. And what makes him the greatest of all time is because he's the best basketball player you ever seen on both ends of the floor. And then when you start looking at his numbers, accolades, achievements, and his resume, that also stacks amongst the best as well, if not the best. You know, the only person that you can really think about who resume might be as good as Michael Jordan is Kareem. And then as far as championships, Bill Russell. So Bill Russell has the rings over Mike, but his whole resume is not better than Mike's. And then plus Bill is not a better player than Mike. And so you got those three checks in the box: best player, both ends of the floor, best resume, and then the rings. Bill got the rings, but he don't have the other two. Michael got all three, but he don't have the rings over Bill, but that's it. That's the only player that's even in the discussion that has the rings over Mike. Then you go to Kareem, who got the resume. I mean, you go all the way to high school, to college, to the Milwaukee, to the Lakers, everywhere he went, winning, follow him, and dominating, follow him. And then you look at his stats, and he's like, he was number one in scoring until LeBron broke his record. He was up there in rebounds, probably number one, I'm not sure. Up there in blocks, up there in assists, right? Played 21 years, right? A lot of rings, a lot of MVPs. So his resume, you can have the debate for Michael Jordan and Kareem's resume, and you're probably going to come out with Kareem. Maybe Jordan, I don't know. That's a debate, though. That's a debate. But as far as players, when you study them play, Michael's a better player than Kareem. Right? So that's how you come out with it. Michael's the best player we ever seen, with arguably the best resume, and the second greatest behind Bill Russell as far as rings. Right? It's an easy choice. But then you got this guy that plays exactly like Mike, who won just as much, who has a great resume as well. The only blemish he really has on his when you study him and study his paper resume is that he didn't play early on his first 2 or 3 years under Darryl Harris with the Lakers. And then Chris Broussard says that his field goal percentage overall was 45%. Oh man, he's not efficient. Forget all that. Who's better than him? He's the closest thing to Mike, and there's nobody close as Mike as a player except Kobe. And then you say Mike's the greatest, but you're gonna put Kobe at like number 15. Don't make sense at all. And when you do that, that shows that you're not studying basketball on the floor. What you're really doing is reading through the paper resume, and you're debating resumes. You're only debating resumes. And that's the only reason why LeBron even gets in the conversation. You start debating resumes, and then you start being kind of delusional because you start saying stuff like, I don't know, man, like he makes everybody better, and you just start making up all these stories. It just don't make a lot of sense, right? Coincidentally, Stephon Marbury recently was on a podcast and not a podcast. He was doing an interview. Somebody came to China and did an interview on him. And this he wasn't American. I think he might have been from the African continent. Not sure what country though. And he was a reporter, and he was he was doing a story on Marbury, and he asked him, "Talk to me about the GOAT debate." This is what he said.
Right. And then, we've got to talk about the GOAT situation. We can't have a segment without having a GOAT. Yep. I want to know from Stephon Marbury, put it on record on CGTN.
Michael Jordan.
LeBron or Michael, who's the GOAT? And does LeBron have the right to be considered the GOAT?
I don't, me personally, Jordan has never lost in the finals. Mm-hmm. He's 6-0. I think LeBron James is a great basketball player. I think he's probably one of the greatest all-around basketball players to ever play. Mm-hmm. But I'll put it like this. You ask me a question, I ask you a question. Game 7.
Yeah.
6 seconds left.
Yeah.
Down by 1. Who you giving the basketball to? Jordan, or are you giving the ball to LeBron to take the last shot?
I'll give it to Jordan. But you know what, Stefon, after talking to you and analyzing what we've been analyzing, a few questions come to mind. It's becoming apparently clear that what makes a team great is the coaching staff, the organization.
100%.
All right?
100%.
We got 100 people who can score 40 points if you give them the opportunity. Okay? LeBron, he did it with multiple teams, multiple coaches, multiple situations. Can you give me evidence that Michael Jordan could have won a title pre-Phil Jackson? And could you give me evidence he could have won a title post-Phil Jackson?
I use what his accolades are from him winning championships. That's one part. But I don't think LeBron James is a better basketball player than Michael
Who's
Jordan.
the most complete basketball player? Let's put it like that.
I would say LeBron is probably the most complete. He's probably the best all-around basketball player to ever play basketball. I don't think there'll ever be a basketball player to ever be as complete. But I don't think he's a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. I don't think skill set wise, I don't think he's a better basketball player. I don't think he plays the game with the same type of understanding as Michael Jordan.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
With 4 other guys on the court, you're telling me that Michael has a better IQ with 4 other guys on the court than LeBron with 4 other guys?
Michael Jordan's IQ is beyond. It's infinite and beyond.
Really? I'll take it from you. I got to defer to you on that.
I mean, LeBron plays at 6'8", 280 pounds.
Right.
Michael Jordan is 6'6", 215, 220. Okay. It's two different like dynamics on the basketball court. From I mean, shooting wise, I mean, LeBron, this is his 20th season. And when you look at LeBron James, when you look at him shooting the basketball, just recently, people stopped going under pick and rolls on LeBron James.
Okay.
Would you ever go under a pick and roll on Michael Jordan or Kobe? No. You would never. I mean, it's a conversation and it's a debate about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
But I want to squash this. I want to squash this on CG10.
Obviously, you like LeBron.
No, I'm an analyst, so I got truth has to be spoken.
I don't think LeBron is better than Kobe.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just say this. I'm gonna go off script. I got to get this on record. I think LeBron is better than Kobe, and I think he's better than Michael Jordan. And let me tell you why. Okay. And 3 years into the NBA, he was in the finals. It took Kobe and them quite a while to get to the finals. Same thing with Michael Jordan. At 18 years old, he was a starter. Kobe was on the bench at 18. Michael, of course, got cut. He went to North Carolina. He played with a Hall of Fame coach. LeBron never had a Hall of Fame coach. Okay, LeBron did it with multiple teams. He's the highest scorer in the NBA to date. My question is, could Kobe have done it without Phil Jackson? What evidence do we have of that? Could Michael have done it without Phil Jackson? What evidence do we have of that?
Well, we can't. We only can go off of what happened. We can't go off if or what could have. We only can go about what.
Worst argument in the world.
What happened?
Pre-Phil Jackson, was Michael close to a championship?
But we can't say that though. We only could go. We only could speak on things that went on.
We're talking about Michael's mind now. Post Phil Jackson.
Michael Jordan's mind on the basketball court is different. It's nobody ever.
Michael Jordan is a general manager.
Wow.
Is he going to win anything? As a president of basketball operations, as the owner of Bobcat, is he going to win? I'm talking about his mind now. I'm talking
about basketball.
Yeah, but I mean, we've analyzed the court. Now we've analyzed off the court. His basketball mind.
We can talk about that at the pizza place.
Yo, that is amazing. That is amazing, man. When you arguing for LeBron James, you have to go to those type of tactics, and you have to be a little bit delusional because you're arguing for a guy who's obviously not the better player, right? So the logic is not going to be on your side. You're going to have to bring in all this other stuff. I mean, for you to come out and just because Marbury's, telling you as a player, no. I mean, I played against Mike, Kobe, and LeBron, and by far Michael Jordan, his IQ is off the chart. It's not even comparable. Like he's telling you, it's not even comparable. We know LeBron James has a high IQ basketball wise, but all the guys that are top 10 players of all time have that same high IQ. Like it's they had that same. They cut from the same cloth. Right. So it's good that LeBron is mentioned in the conversation with those guys because he's one of those great players. Right. But his fans just can't stand it and tolerate it when you give them to understand the logic of, okay, let's just break down them as a player. Mike's better. Kobe is better. Like, we're not saying nobody else is better. Mike and Kobe is better. Mike and Kobe are the same player. Their careers went different paths. It was a lot of things that was different about their careers, but that was the same player. Offensively and defensively, and mentality, and IQ, and physicality. They was literally the same player. Right? So if one's better, they're both better. Now, if you want to debate the resume, okay, that can be debated. You can say LeBron's resume is better than Kobe, but Kobe's a better player than he's a better basketball player than LeBron. And that's what Marbury and Iverson are saying. They're better players, but LeBron is a bad man too, in his own right, and he's a standalone. Careers went different. LeBron took charge of his career to make sure that his resume could stack up against the greats. He wasn't going to go down as a guy who never got a ring, so he took matters in his own hand, and once he got a taste of that, he kept taking matters in his own hand. He kept stacking the deck. He kept stacking his teams. He kept handpicking players, handpicking coaches, handpicking organizations, handpicking situations. He kept doing all that stuff to make sure that he could cook up the books for his resume. And as a result of that, you got a daggone good resume if you take away how he did it. If you separate his resume from how he did it, how he maneuvered it, manipulated it, and cooked it up, if you take that away and 20 years down the line, someone who didn't watch the NBA back then to live through it, and they just look at the paper resume, his resume is going to blow people's out of the water. Right? So he got his own thing going for him. He got a resume that's going to be unreal, but he's going to have all that stuff on his resume, and the struggle to get those rings is going to be evident, because he's going to play 23, 24 years and walk away with still less rings than Kobe and Mike. That's very interesting. As much as you cooked up and orchestrated, it only worked for your stats and your resume. It didn't work that well for your team getting the ultimate goal. And that's